Welcome back to our final segment of Chamber Exchange, the TV show. And as always, we want to thank our sponsors who help make the show happen. St. Vincent Hospital, a major healthcare provider and employer in central Massachusetts, and Bank Hometown, a large community bank in the region. And with us on our final segment is Julie McDonald, who is the Executive Director of the Juniper Outreach Foundation. Julie, good to see you again.
Good morning. Nice to see you too. Thanks for having me.
So if a viewer is out there and they're not familiar with the Juniper Outreach Foundation, maybe you could give some background of what it's all about.
Happily. We're a nonprofit organization. We began in 2019 with the sole mission of putting in school food pantries at some of these schools most in need. So we started out with the idea in 2019, and then COVID hit. So it took us a little while to get our pantries going, but we started out with one pantry in 2021, and we now have 6. And our school food pantries are designed solely for the purpose of the children shopping. So most of these kids that are coming into our school pantries are going home to, or maybe not going home. A lot of them are homeless. A lot of them are doubled up. A lot of them are living in homes where there's no food at night. They're living in shelters. There is access to some of the families. The schools try to provide the families, connect them with community resources, but those resources that the families are connected to are only as good as the adults that are helping these children get the food. So oftentimes it just doesn't match, and the kids are not getting food at night and on the weekends. So these pantries are designed for the students to come in during the school day, fill up a bag with some adult help, either from us or from the staff at school, and they can bring a bag home for nights and weekends. We provide all non-perishable items. We're in 6 city schools now, soon to be 8. And so we are continuing to grow, and we've seen that the need has grown, and we're just happy to be able to provide a small little piece of what these kids will need to keep sustained, to keep healthy, to learn, to be educated.
And we, this theme, serendipitous, the theme of the show, there's a little bit of a common theme. It's determinants to good health, and food is a big part of that. And one of the things you talk to people who are educators, and they'll say, it's difficult for kids to learn if they're it's both tired and not eat. If they're not eating good meals, that their energy levels, et cetera.
It's true, and worried about what's going to happen after school, worried about where their meals are coming from. So it just takes that one piece of fear away from them temporarily. It gives them the power to go down and pick something out for themselves. Oftentimes the students won't have any place to cook, so they can bring home things that they can open up in packages and eat themselves, that they don't have to rely on somebody else getting them their next meal. Especially on the weekends and the vacations. That's when it really becomes scary for them, because that's day after day after day. And we have many stories of students that have come in on a Monday morning and hadn't really had a morsel of food since Friday.
Right.
So.
And so logistically, there's some challenges. You're going from just to keep 6 food pantries stocked and kind of organized, and then now you're going to 8. Tell us a little bit about that and what you need to be able to keep them properly stocked.
Yeah, there are a lot of logistics involved. Thankfully, we have a great team of volunteers. We are 100% volunteer run. So we do have a wonderful team of volunteers, and at each school we have a designated ambassador volunteer who will make sure that the shelves look stocked every week. In some cases, they'll help pack bags for the school. We have wonderful partnerships with our schools and amazing partnerships in the community. So we've had some real strong community partners that have helped us fund these pantries, continue to help us fund these pantries. They bring their volunteers from their organizations in to help us. So week to week, we try to make sure every school has what they need. The schools all have their own personalities. They all do it a little bit differently. And one of them, we do a shopping day where the students come in with our volunteers, and we help them walk through their little store, they call it, and pick out what they want. And that way the student is empowered a little bit to know that they can go, that they're not going to be left high and dry. They can pick out what they want. There's nobody else telling them no. And some of their faces when they come in, they sort of look around like, oh wow, this is all free. I can actually take something home. And they're grateful, they're happy, they're they're getting their hugs that they might need and not have for the rest of the day. It's rewarding for all of us, but the need is unbelievable. It's overwhelming and getting worse in our public schools.
And so to kind of keep them stocked, and you mentioned some of the partners.
Yeah.
I'm sure that those partners kind of manifest in different ways. Some might be contributing financially, others maybe it's volunteering, others it's maybe donating food. Is it all?
Absolutely. It's for the most part we take donations, monetary donations, and we purchase the food.
Okay.
But like you said, a lot of our community partners, and I could name so many of them. But for example, Consigli Construction, one of our strong community partners, they come in and they help us build the pantries where it's needed.
Right.
So South High, for example, was already built because that was built when the new building was there. So we just got to come in, set up the pantry and run it. But from our other schools, we need the shelving, we need the painting, we need, the bins, things like that. So we do have, a partner for that. We have Country Bank has been amazing. The Woo Sox, I could go on and on. But for the most part, we accept monetary donations. That's how we do, and we do fundraising. And then we purchase the food.
Okay.
Because the food drives are great, but oftentimes you're getting things that might be expired, that things, will sit on the shelves. And people have the best intention when they're donating, but it's not oftentimes what, for example, a 5-year-old is going to want to eat, or even a high school student who doesn't have access to a microwave or a stove. So we try to manage what comes in. On our website, we do have a list of the foods that we offer. So when people do want to do a food drive with their organization or with their school, we refer them to the site and say these are the items that we try to stick with. We have a lot of schools, private schools that have gotten involved. St. John's, Notre Dame Academy, Worcester Academy have gotten involved in getting their students to come and learn a little bit about what their neighbors are going through. So
Did you mention the website? You want to give it a plug?
Sure, I'd love to. Yeah, it's juniperhelps.org. We have all the information on there. Our 6 pantries are listed. We have a couple more that'll be listed soon, just waiting for some logistics to work out there. And we have our donation pages there. There's a list of the food items that we offer. We are having a fundraiser on November 7th. Thank you. I'm sorry, I beat you to it.
I want to make sure you get that in.
Beat you to it. We're having a fundraiser on November 7th at Olo Pizza at 5:30. It's a very casual, fun, easy night. We have a great MC, Vanessa Welch, who's the former news anchor of Boston 25, and she'll be joining us for our 2nd year. This is our big chance to raise money, this and our grants, but it's a fun night. So
yeah. Well, it was great to hear some of the specifics and
Thank
businesses
you.
that are working with you, all of whom are chamber member businesses
Yes,
and supporters
I'm
doing
aware.
great
As
stuff.
am I, actually.
Great stuff in Central Mass. So juniperhelps.org doing great work on making sure our kids are healthy and getting good food both at school and at home.
Yes.
And so Julie, thanks for being with us.
And thanks for having me, Tim.
And thank you for being with us on this action-packed edition of Chamber Exchange, a TV show with some great guests. And as always, want to thank our sponsors, Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital.